Okay, good evening all. Welcome to the BATC Cure 100 Net. Noticed there was somebody underneath me then trying to transmit. I wonder why the signal was going off a couple of times, but anyway, all seems good now. So far I have Mike G0MJW, Bernie G4HJW, Jim G0QH, Martin G8KOE. We'll take them in that order to start with. And Noel G8GTZ to go on the end of the list there. Sorry about the lighting. I've changed the lights in the shack and it's all a bit stark at the moment. Might have to try and sort that out for next time. And Colin, I'll put you on the end of the list after Noel. Parish notices, CQTV, you should all have been able to download your copy by now, and the printed copies are at the printers being sorted out. And don't forget to put Saturday the 24th of October, 3 weeks time, in your diaries for the BATC Cat 20 online on Zoom. So without further ado, let's put it straight round to Mike G0MJW. Much scribbling around, but it was on just a moment ago, so it must be ready. And then we'll go round to Bernie after Mike. I'll just publish the list once Mike starts transmitting. So G0MJW to take it, G8GKQ and the BATC Cure 100 Net.
Okay, hopefully I've got a signal. Yeah, that's good. Right, I'm using Minitune to receive. So just have to drive that. So good evening everybody. Hopefully you can see me and hear me. I need to now monitor the chat just to make sure no one's complaining. But yeah, not a lot to report this week. Actually, I've done quite a bit, but not something I can show you yet. So so that was interesting and very good outcome. So it's been a bit of a work week again this week. But anyway, good thing about prototyping is when you discover certain faults and then decide how to fix them. So Dave, I've got something I need to explain to you that may be of relevance or maybe not, but I'll do that offline. And yeah, if Brian's watching, hello Brian. I wonder how many copies of me there are. Right, so seems I've not got a lot to say. Instead of waffle, I'll pass it straight on to the next person. So that is G4HJW, G0 Mike Juliet Whiskey.
Right, we'll try again. Teach me not to switch the audio on. It's yeah, I think we're working. Yeah, apologies there. Yeah, we finally made it to the net this week. I've been watching, but been struggling away to get the Pluto going and configuring it for all sorts of different modes. I've also got the encoder box, which well, that was a bit loud. Encoder box, which is working quite well. But at the moment, I'm using the graphics card on the PC to do it. All running Windows. I know everybody has Windows, but I don't get any problems with it. I'm also playing with the DMR Talkback channel, which I monitor, which is working quite successfully. But I'm trying to get to grips with OBS. I've upgraded to the latest version. I see there's the virtual camera, and I can't quite at the moment grasp what to use it for. But I know John G7JTT. Oh, there's someone just called on the talkback that I was using just to put me off, I think. Was raving about it, and I was sort of thinking, well, what can I do with it? But I'll find out eventually. Right, who's next in line? Oh, it's GTZ to take it, so I'll hopefully stick a test card up. And apologies for being not having the audio switched on, and pass it to Noel there.
That was the dual band antenna that I bought, which seemed to work reasonably well on the contest, but it was I know what the problem was. But I've now put that antenna up at home, and I'm hoping to do some tests with JLES on 50 meg and 70 meg. What's going didn't see Okay. Don't know what's going on. Or maybe I'm not. I don't know. Oh well. Okay. Yeah, I'm running H.265. That's the problem, isn't it? I'm being a naughty lad. Because I managed to. It was successful last week when I was testing. So anyway, there we go. I'll leave it and.
Okay, thank you, Noel. I'm usually quite disciplined on here, actually. Okay, thank you, Noel. Right, okay then. So that's all right. I'm not getting my picture yet. Oh, there we are. There we are. Yes, well, I'm waiting for the sort of the go-ahead to try the H.265. It was mooted that as the Ryde is so successful at sorting it out, that obviously makes the streaming side of things a little bit easier, because when we started, it was quite difficult with people using different parameters. It appears to be less of an issue now. Certainly, my experience with the Ryde is that you can throw anything at it, and it seems to work really well. So, on that front, I've been trying sending H.265 into our local repeater GB3 SQ. We hadn't tested the Ryde on H.265 up until recently, so I've been using just a Pluto, and that's a 1249 aerial, believe it or not. It seems rather large, doesn't it? But that's no, it says 1200 on there. I think it must be that bit at the end. I think I don't know, but it seems to work all right for getting across the shack. It's a bit of a weird thing, really, but something I acquired a couple of these, and they seem to actually work all right without blowing things up. So I put Every's alpha version on this one, on this Pluto. This one's got the TCXO in it, the TCXO change in it. This particular one. So that's been working very well. Using this and the NVIDIA graphics card. So I'll be looking forward to trying that, because I can get the best out of the Logitech camera then. When we use the Logitech camera on the port stand, which I'm transmitting on now, this one here, then obviously it's used as a webcam. You can't quite get the resolution out of it in that particular mode. But it doesn't do a bad job, really, actually. More than acceptable for for what we're doing anyway. So, but you can see it's got the edge. So I've been setting up my OBS because I reloaded Windows in an attempt to get the streaming working, which was a big mistake because I lost absolutely everything. And I'm gradually recovering from that. I didn't have any backups. I'm gradually recovering from losing all my programs. lost everything I did, really. Some things I managed to find hidden in another part of the hard drive, but a lot of it I haven't. So we're having to sort of start from scratch again. So I'm just doing a little bit at a time, getting OBS working again. It's basically there. So that's all right, because I'll try and do it that way. But that's when we get the go ahead to use different things. So we'll sort of, I'll wait and we'll, if they make a decision on that. I am cheating a little bit. I've noticed I'm on 3/4 instead of what we have been using, 2/3. I find it seems to work a little bit better on this system. So hopefully it's okay. The only issue I had was into SQ was the audio was a bit muffled. Still using the little dongle, I mean, they're not the best, I shouldn't think, but they work reasonably well. Those little dongles, certainly good value for money anyway. So, and a lot better than the built-in microphone in the Logitech. That seems to be a bit echoey when we're using it for this type of activity. A little bit sort of echoey, but I haven't tracked down what that is yet. So I'll have to send a signal up to the satellite, I think, and have a listen to it. Make sure it sounds all right. I may need to tweak the audio level on the Ryde, maybe. There's not actually a volume controller in the conventional sense, but I assume I could use that other program that we used on the port stand to fiddle around with the volume if it needs it, but we'll see. So a few experiments to do there. Okay, G4H JW is next. That'll probably do for me. Okay then. Yeah, so G4HJW to take it. G4KLB.
Hello everyone, G4HJW. I'm having all sorts of problems here. This is the first audio I've heard. Just a moment. Why I haven't heard anybody else's audio, I don't know. And also, I'm being plagued by my transmit dropping out every now and again. But I'll just have this over. But it's being a bit of a disaster, I'm afraid, for me tonight. I'll just give you some decent video anyway. Let's go. Cambridge, and I'm really pleased to get on here. I've had problems with dropout on my own setup, plus I'm hearing no audio on my receiver, or via the club website streamer. So I mean, I am totally lost. Anyway, I'm running about 10 watts to a 2.4 meter dish. I think I'll have to leave it at that. It's a real shame. Yeah, so I'll sign and just keep watching. I hope you're copying this, but I can say I'm transmitting.
Okay, Bernie. Okay, Bernie. have audio. Thank you very much for coming up, Bernie. It's funny, you didn't have any dropouts when I saw you testing earlier, but good to see pictures from you. I assume you're using DATV Express. Perhaps you could confirm that in the chat. It had all the characteristics of DATV Express, which doesn't do very well down at these low symbol rates. John G7JTT, are you going to transmit tonight? Question. Perhaps you can answer in the chat. If so, I can put it around you in a moment. Right, what's been happening here this week? Well, mainly software stuff. We've got a little bug in the Ryde, which we're trying to fix. And that's taken up a fair bit of time. Not successful yet, but we're getting closer. I know Tim's been working hard on getting the on-screen display sorted for the Ryde, but again, that's a lot of work. Oh, sorry to hear your PA's broken, John. Hope it's not permanent. Also working on the Portsdown 4, trying to rebuild the signal generator capability. Which needed quite a lot of work, and I've now got it to the stage where it'll drive a ADF 4351 as the signal generator. The eventual objective is to be able to use the Pluto as a keyboard controlled signal generator, but haven't actually achieved that yet, but that's the objective. And shortly to have out updates for both Portsdown 4 and Portsdown 2020 release. Let's put the power up a bit. I notice I'm falling back a bit. Good evening, Michelle. So that's really what we've been up to here. A bit of domestic work, changing the lighting, hence I've got some new shack lighting, but it's a bit harsh for this camera position. I might have to change that. Okay, that's it from me. So back round to Mike, and there'll be no harm in showing what the next project is, Mike. It's going to be a good few months before it's ready for prime time, but be worth seeing how you're doing with that. G0MJW and the group G8GKQ.
Right. Transition. So, H265. Oh dear. Hope I'm not in trouble from that, but seemed to be alright for Noel. So let's hope it's working for me. I know the audio is quiet. It's not to put the headset in. Just trying to configure things. Yeah. So what I've been doing hardware-wise, well, I can go and get it. It's not currently plumbed in. Maybe on the final over, if there's another over, I can show you it working, because it's remarkable what Brian's managed. But and there'll be some delay whilst I go and get this thing, and also unplug the various leads, because the camera is not long enough to show you it with leads plugged in. So do bear with me. Right. There we go. That's what it is. And let me just check. It's in focus. Yeah, well, sort of. So this is a new project which we're working on, and it's basically, well, you can see what it is. It's a dual receiver, so 2 NIMs, 1 Pi 4, various bits of glue logic, and receives 4 signals at once. I guess the trick is to see what's missing, and and that's what I think is rather remarkable, because there is no FTDI module in there at all. It's an FTDI free board, unless there's something in the Pi, and well, it does all the usual things that you might expect to receive 4 signals. And there's these things which plug in here. That's an older board, and provide the supply for the LMB. And your keyboard IR fits in there if you want it. And that's basically it. Oh yeah, and that is a box, and the whole thing then slides in that box, or at least it would do, except for at the moment I've got some feet on it, so I can use it on the bench. So if those feet weren't there, that just slide in there, and that's the whole unit sits in that box. So that's what we've been working on, and it's not me who's been working on it really, it's Brian. So he's done a remarkable job. So that's probably it. Hopefully the video and the audio held up. G0M.
Okay, G0DQH, just check audio, which is fine. Okay, so there's not a lot left for me to say tonight. That project seems quite interesting. I'd just like to say, if I may, if Argu is watching down there in Lefkas or Lefkada, one of the Greek islands, which we go on holiday every year to, but unfortunately not this year. And she may well be watching the net tonight down there in Greece. So we're booked to go next September, and it's an awfully long time to wait, but because of the virus, hopefully by then it'll all be clear. So I'll say good evening to everyone, and catch you all again next Thursday, hopefully, on the net. And let's bring up the for some reason my picture seems to be intermittent tonight, don't know why. So there you go. Okie doke, see you.
Hopefully we've remembered to switch the mic on this time. To make sure I hear myself coming back. Yep, that's good. Yes, sorry dear John, JTT, you've got problems with your PA. That's not good. Hope it is fixable. Yeah, I was hoping to ask you about the virtual camera in OBS, what to actually use it for. But, I've only just downloaded the latest version. But, I've seen that you can grab the output as such, but so far not quite sure what I can make use of it with. But there's so much in OBS that I don't know. It seems such a powerful program. It's more what you can think of doing, really. But I've got streaming set up as I'm using the recording to send to the Pluto, which has got the latest firmware, etc. in, and does work exceedingly well, particularly on the audio, which when you turn the mic on, that is, haven't really got a lot more to add. I not building anything. I think the last thing I built was the PA that I blew up when Lime SDR did a recalibration, I think. But thank you there. It was when people were using the HDMI. Right, okay, understood. I think. But yeah, I've got the encoder box which I use as well, which that works exceedingly well. But yeah, I'll hopefully have further words with you when you get pictures again. I keep my fingers crossed. Anyway, that's away, but hopefully you can at least hear me. I'll stick a test card and throw it on around. Good to see everybody this evening. I actually finally made it. My son moved house recently, and I've been involved in that, etc. There's always things that need to do. It seem to collide with a Thursday evening for some reason. I don't know why. Anyway, on to, I think it's Noel next. I'll put a test card and you take it then, Noel. And I've stayed on 264. I think I'm on 264. I haven't cheated yet. I'll wait for the approval to go to 265. And oh yeah, Scan and Tune has received everybody fine, as well as the Ryde has on the streaming. I find Scan and Tune works surprisingly well. Yeah, round you there, Noel.
Right. Good. Okay. Well, thanks everybody. Yeah. Just to reassure everybody that there is a BATC blue PCB that what Mike was showing. He some green ones. I've had a Pluto issue, and I'm pretty sure it's a hardware failure. It got low output power on transmit on me, and when I say low output, I mean sort of minus 50, minus 60 dBm, and it seems to do it in all configurations using ports down. So it looks as if it's take it, Colin, I think. Colin, yes. G4KLB,
G8 GTZ G4KLB. Okay then, Noel. Very good. Yeah, that's the best picture I've seen from you actually. So mine looks a little bit wishy-washy now in comparison. But we've had good fun with the Pluto using the fancy graphics card that's in this one. Even my laptop can do it in theory. I will try that at some point. But yeah, just got that going just so I could check that the Ryde does the H.265, which it does without any problem at all. I've been using Scan and Tune this week for convenience, and all my Rydes are doing other things at the moment. So that's what we've been using. The only issue I've had, and I don't know if anyone knows if I've got something wrong or not, on mic M0MJW signal, the video locked up. I mean, this is meant to be using VLC, so I suspect I must have something wrong with VLC somewhere along the line. It's all been reloaded fairly recently, but the audio keeps going, but the picture runs for a bit and then freezes. So it must be some VLC issue, I think. So if anyone's got any ideas for that, it's probably something I've got to do. If Martin was okay with Scan and Tune, then it's obviously something this end. So, but everyone else's was fine. So no problems at all with. So I wanted to see that board, obviously. So I had to quickly keep reloading. So must have missed a few bits. But that means I'll get another tuner. I've got one spare tuner, but I'll have to get another one in due course, I suppose. But there we are. Other things we've been doing whilst I was testing the Pluto arrangement, because I thought, well, it works on SQ, so I'll just try it up on the satellite. I happened across the WW Net. I assume that stands for worldwide, which is Saturday and Sunday at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock our time, but 1 o'clock until the clocks change, I assume. So 2 o'clock our time. So on this same frequency, and a couple of Indian stations on. There's an Indian guy that sort of decided to do it. So we wish them well, because that's very good. This particular slot is not suited for India because of the timings, etc. And so they're having something at 2 o'clock our time, 1 o'clock on Saturday and Sunday. There was only a few stations on, but I think that will grow to be quite a big thing, I suspect. So wish them well with that. So I got the time wrong actually, and I thought they must have finished, because I saw one Indian station on earlier, and then it all went quiet. But so I was just fiddling about with with the Pluto, and then they put a note up there to say that they're moving down a channel. So I thought, oh, I've got the time wrong, so I moved, and then I joined in with the net on the end. So that was good. That was brilliant actually. Being able to work India on TV that was a first for me, and that was brilliant. So I'm really pleased that they're doing that. So look out for that. I think there's a Twitter thing you can get on the list, but you can do the same as on here. You can just type something up, and they'll leave you a space, and come in. So there was only a few stations on. It's only just started. Been going a couple of weeks, I think. So hopefully that'll become a regular thing. I say they do Saturday and Sunday. So they call it the WW Net, I think. I'm so look out for that one. That's chance to work India direct, well, via satellite. So fantastic that is. So really pleased with those. I don't think I've ever worked India before. Maybe on 20 meters, but that's about it. But yeah, fascinating. Right, okay then. I think Tony is popping up next. Yes, he is. So so over to you, Tony. D0AZ G4KLB.
Not sure if Tony's been. I see Tony has had a touchscreen freeze. What I'll do, Tony, is I'll put it round to you after me. I'll put it round to you after me. Jim, you were a little bit weak on power that time. I think that's why a few people lost you. There were some other heavy users of the transponder, and you were down to D0 and then dropped out once with me. And same with Noel, actually. You're a bit weak. Need to wind up the wick on the Polish amp a bit. Again, a D0. What am I? I'm running D3, and I'm the same level as the beacon, which is slightly naughty, but D3 so that everybody can see me. Maybe even D4 here. Mike, you did have I think you had a few transport stream dropouts, or it may be that somebody else came up underneath you, one of the two, because both my receivers lost you. I did actually wonder whether it was a local interference problem here, but other people obviously had it. Yeah, the Ryde Mark II receiver, that's my setup so far. Haven't quite got the bits sorted out to put it together, but it's going to be a two-stage thing. With initially it'll be a Ryde Mark II without any FTDI module, all on one PCB, just with one tuner. And the bit that Mike and Brian G4EWJ are working on is a step beyond that, which will allow you to watch up to 4 signals at once using the PCB. But it is real research and development at the moment. There's quite a lot to be done before it's fit to be out there on general release as something that you can just put together and works. What else have we been up to? Oh, the other unit I have here that I'm going to be playing with shortly is this, which is an LCOM oscillator or signal source for 11 to 12 gigs. And actually the idea is that the port stand will be able to control that as a signal source. The port stand 2020 already does control it, but haven't got the port stand 4 controlling that yet. But it's a really useful signal source for 24 gigs on the second harmonic. And Noel's reminded me, of course, the receiver that Mike is running there won't be called a Ryde. We have another name for that shortly. Okay then. Let's go. On the subject of H.265, it does cause people some issues running H.265, particularly the mini tuner users. It's great for us Ryde users, it's really easy. issues on. It does. Oh, I've gone off. What was that? It does cause issues with Minitune, and I think probably Bernie's problems were Minitune related. Oh. Now, no idea why I went off there. I'd be interested to know if other people lost me there. Right, round to Mike. G0MJW, sorry, not round to Mike, round to Tony, who failed last time. G0AZQ to take it. G8GKQ standing by.
Right, it's working this time. And I chopped you off there for a moment, Dave, because I tried the transmitter. I do not understand why it is. It only happens on a Thursday when I come on the net. I try other times and everything is fine. And it's only when I come on a Thursday, I go to transmit, touch screen goes to transmit on. Let's just kill the audio on this. And but no transmit. And I see that I'm not actually pulling any current from the PA, so I know that I'm not transmitting. But then when I go and touch the screen again, it won't come out of it, it just freezes up. So there we go, one of those strange situations that him up there has got it in for me. Right, only a couple of comments to Colin as far as the India net's gone. Yeah, congratulations, you're over the moon on that, aren't you? As far as contacting India on TV, I saw you there on was it Saturday or Sunday? Sunday, I think. And so that was working all fine and dandy, and I'll try and come on that this coming weekend. Another slight idiosyncrasy that I've had, and I can't spell that word, never have been able to spell idiosyncrasy, and with the Raspberry 4, I'd not put it into the main unit, into the ports down, but I had put it into the monitor on the Ryde, and it kept disappearing and I couldn't get back to it, and so I changed back to a Raspberry Pi 3. I won't bother you with the cameras, but just out of interest, we'll change over cameras. We've got a couple of cameras here, and this one lock in. Doesn't want to lock it for some reason or another. Yep, okay, we've locked in now. That's not an expensive camera, but another camera. And we've also got a camera which we can use for examining things, which is this one. Oh, don't hook me test meter off with it. So what can I do with that one to see how good it is? Let's look at the remote control unit. Sorry, that was the other position on the microphone. So that doesn't seem to work too badly for looking at various things. And while we're at it, we might just as well have a look and see what else is going on with the bits and pieces which are there. So we'll put that back, we'll come back onto that camera, and we're experimenting, as you are, Colin, with OBS, and whether I'm I've got that silly habit of putting everything into position. Oh dear, oh dear. I used to have a guy at Heathrow who you're always doing that. He'd put something over there like that, and he'd come along and go, and then do and put it somewhere else. It's something to do with getting old, that you've got to have things in position, and you put all your coins when you come back on the mantelpiece, and you put all the coins in descending order as far as size is concerned. I haven't got that far yet, but I have been told that it can be a problem. So I think we'll have to cut down on the grapes. That's probably what we'll have to do. Or do we cut down on the homebrew? I'll put it over back to you, Dave, and see where we go from here. Or if we got what's appalling. Okay. I'll put it back to you, Dave. G8 GKQ G0 AZQ on the net.
Right, I think it's me next, unexpectedly. Let me just turn the feedback down. Hopefully you can hear me now, but maybe not. Anyway, I have tried to fix the audio. It's a headset, but maybe I wasn't speaking into the microphone. I can hear myself coming back on this device anyway. So I'll just show you it again. I've covered up the name, which is actually wrong on this board anyway, so that was pretty pointless, but gives you an idea. Okay. You've got to allow some level of surprise and excitement and tension, but yeah. So the idea anyway is to receive 4 signals at once, and it'll do that. But there's a few problems at the moment, so can't really do that if any of them are H.265. It can receive H.264 fine, but H.265 is a bit of a problem. Yeah, and unfortunately, so this was the first PCB. I don't know if that's visible. And here's another 4 of the second PCB. All of those are scrapped because there's going to be a next one, but that's what you do in development, and it doesn't actually cost any more to produce 5 than it does to produce 1. And if you think that stack of boards there, which are 120 by 160 millimeters, costs about 12 quid delivered. That's quite remarkable, really is. Right, I noticed there's a bit of a delay on it, so sorry about that coming through and giving you a bit of feedback. But there you are. Anyway, it's performed flawlessly since I plugged it back in, so signals seem to be working, so all good. Right, anyway, that's enough for me, I think. So 7-3 everyone. Let's go and find the test card and say good night.
I was having a sleep then. No, the receiver looks absolutely immaculate, and the PCBs. I remember when used to have to get PCBs made for the old Solent transmitter. It was nowhere near as easy as and nowhere near as good quality as those. So all good, all good. You haven't got any much more to add. My scan tune has worked flawlessly on receiving. I can't remember all the VLC etc. settings. It was ages since I installed it, but all seems to be going okay. Anyway, I'm waffling a lot, and I'll pass on to Noel, I think, to take it, and see you all hopefully next week if I can make it. So on with the test card and away.
Right, I put a bit more coal on the fire. So it's actually raining here. I think John, it's interesting, John reported it was raining down on the south coast, and it wasn't here, but now it is here. I think that's probably what's taken the signal strength down. But yeah, it's just to re-emphasise that that really is a development thing, and it probably won't be 2020. So don't hold back on what you're buying now, and don't keep worrying us for dates, etc. But yeah, it's just a logical progression, really. So it's good. Yeah, as I say, it won't be 2020. So it will be a 2021 Manana project. So no, it's good. And Brian EWJ is doing the 4-channel one. So there we go. Good. Okay. Not much else, I don't think. I think out of interest, I was talking to Graham VZV today, and they're getting very excited about their AMSAC conference. If you haven't already registered, I think it'd probably be worth registering. Although for the AMSAC UK one, you don't actually have to register. You can watch it on YouTube. I think they're doing YouTube and Zoom for interaction, and they've had about 300 people register. But the reason why we're interested is because Matt Cosby is doing an update on what's happening down at Good Hilly. So that's down at 10 days time. I think it's the day after the RSGB conference. So yeah, good. Okay, well I'll say 73 to 1 and all. Go and be sociable. It's a certain somebody's birthday today, so I really ought to go. Right. Who's going next? Who's next? Don't know. Colin probably. So round to Colin, and I'll say 73 to all, and catch you later. Gee.
Okay then. Actually, I was caught me napping then. Actually, I wasn't expecting another go. Okay then. So I was caught me napping then. There we are. So very good. Yes, that'll be an interesting one. We'll have to have a go at that one in due course. But I'm mainly focusing on the normal rides at the moment because they're one of the aspects of those is for repeater use. And they're working really, really well. So I've got 2 over there working, 2 in SQ, just over there. This is the one. Actually, this is the one that's got the issues, which they're working on at the moment to sort out. So we look forward to that. So the other one like this is working a tree, and then I've got another one which is standard V2 mini tuner with a Ryde sat on top of it, and that's works exactly the same. Obviously, this is the same thing, but in the same box. So we'll expect some software in a day or two to experiment with, but the others have been absolutely fat. I don't turn them off. They're on 24 hours a day. Had a moment's problem, nothing at all. So really good. So people can chuck you H.265, H.264, MPEG-2, and they're on the scanning as well. That's where the problem lies with the scanning. And they scan through 4 symbol rates and just picks them up. There's obviously a cost involved for when you, because it looks at 1 symbol rate, nothing there, looks at the next one. So there's a small delay. Mine's set to 5 seconds. So obviously, depending, there's a small delay, but it doesn't really cause any particular problem. So more than happy with that. It means I can add all the low symbol rates to the repeater, which hopefully, logically, will allow stations from further afield to get in. So that's going to be great, really. We've got some stations that are marginal on the main symbol rate, which is 4 megasymbols and 2 megasymbols, which when we're on the satellite, that seems that ludicrously large, doesn't it, really? But but it's funny, isn't it, really? Because I don't really use much more than 333 on the satellite. But I might go up to 500 if I'm feeling particularly excited, but not very often. I don't really need to. So there we are. Okay, so and obviously DBBS2. I say we couldn't. The original receivers in the repeater wouldn't do H.265, which surprised me, but that's what they wouldn't do it. So I've had Mike LES send me signals using the Ryde. He's 16 APSK he sent to us, come through a tree, until we tried to demo it on air, and then it didn't. But at 2 a.m. in the morning, it was absolutely full HD as well, full HD, fantastic it was, absolutely brilliant. So it opens up a whole, and it works. The other receivers have an issue with the DATV Express for some reason. If you tune them in, they do work fine, but obviously you can't do that on a repeater. They're tuned into the standard thing, but the Ryde just takes it. It's no problem at all. As does Minitune, I should say. There's no problem on Minitune either, of course, with that. With those all the same things. So there we are. Right, okay, that's it for today. That was all right, actually. Mike's signal that was just giving me a bit of video and stopping. It was fine on the last over. So I'm not quite sure I had a VLC issue. Maybe I've got the wrong version or something in there. I don't know. But so I've had to reload everything. So I might have got something wrong there. But it was fine on that last one. No trouble at all. And audio was fine as well, of course. Right, okay then. Okay, we're going to have... Tony's going to have another go. Okay, then I better disappear then. So, over to you then, Tony.
There we go, we shoot up on there. And Colin on the other monitor has gone absolutely bananas. But now I've got myself back here and I can hear some sound. So we'll turn the monitor off there. And you can see on this camera that I've got my Vulcan, Colin, up in the hanging off the ceiling. Over my, is it my left shoulder? Yes. So that's that. Okay, thanks John, JTT, for giving us the tip on the power supply. I don't know whether you were replying back as far as the power supply might have been a problem as far as my frozen screen was concerned when I went on transmit, or whether it was to do with the Raspberry 4. The Raspberry 4 I feed with a buck converter, and that's monitored with a voltmeter, and no problems seem to have been there. This business with the frozen screen, it only ever happens when I come on the net on a Thursday, and it just will not come out of the frozen screen. And it's not gone to transmit. It hasn't even actually gone to transmit. It says TX on, and it's gone red. But I'm not, as I said before, it's not drawing any current from the PA. So I don't know what that is. I thought to start with it might have been that's got some stray RF back, but as the PSU, as the PA, I mean, is not drawing any current, so it's not transmitting any power. That's my logic. So, okay, nice to hear you all on, and we'll do a little bit as far as the shack lighting is concerned. And as far as Ryde is concerned, absolutely brilliant. It got Noel in on 265 without any problem at all, whereas the other computer that was monitoring it died until I actually physically changed over from 264 to 265. And so we're experimenting with OSP. That is something which is a bit of a brainstorm, but I've got M1ASR who's almost on the verge of being able to transmit, and hopefully he's monitoring me tonight. I did mention on our local net last night, well, our local Zoom net last night, to come on and monitor us back. The wind had blown his dish out of Kansas, so now hopefully he is there. I would have expected a call on the mobile, but he's probably expecting me to. I'll put it on 14475 and see if he is actually monitoring. If he is, he'll come back to me on that one. So nobody else will be able to hear us on 14475. M1ASR, are you there? Monitoring 14475. No answer. 7-3 all, and we'll catch up again with you in the not too distant future. Geez, I don't know who it's over to, probably Dave, but we'll put it over to you, Dave, and then you can close things down. G0AZQ is going off and clear.
G0AZQ, and the net's G8GKQ. Okay, Tony, a bit of a background whistle on your audio there, but pictures were fine this time. And the comments in the chat about something being appalling were nothing to do with your signal. It was to do with the capture ratio of DVB-S2. I noticed you saw those. My apologies for the lack of sound on the stream earlier. I think it was because I had plugged the HDMI to the streaming setup in when there was no audio track on what was being received, but I'm not sure. It's something to do with HDMI issues. Nothing to do with the Ryde itself, which was producing sound fine. So not really sure what's up with that. The streaming is actually coming from this Portsdown 4 over here. My transmissions are from a Jetson Nano controlled by a Portsdown 3. So I think that's about it. Yep, and as Mike and Noel says, there's lots of work to do on that dual tuner board, but it is the way ahead. So we're trying to get it up and running as an easier way than using a USB connected tuner. Right, good night all. See you here same time, same place next week, and thanks all for coming on. G8GKQ.
Allô? Oh, no, it's okay, Dave. No problem. So, we are progressing with the Ampléon amplifier. You have the prototype here. So we did some first test last week, and with 2 watts in, we get about, without any problem, 100 watts with nice. It's difficult. I hear myself, so I will do the same like this. So the main issue is that the palette have NTC on board, which is in parallel to the that is a real spooky pictures. And so the bias tension is very quickly put down because of this NTC, which needs to be removed, and external polarization circuit with thermal compensation should be included. So likely I was lucky enough to find out amps we have done the recommended circuit from Ampléon, which is this very nice small circuit. So we have made available the Gerber files and component implementations. So I sent out this to China last Sunday a week, and I received them back with one phase already with the component on it about 5 days later. Impressive. And I made 10 of them for 50 Swiss franc. It's incredible. It's really incredible. So the next step is to test with this external polarization. And this week I've been, and last week, mainly working on a major issue. I'm running a network of 3 ATV relay in DVBS based on SR system boards. And we have a completely different PID structure. And as we are passing the stream from one relay to another one is quite complex to manage. And I'm unable to use the ports down or Pluto transmitter because they are running with this PIDs, which you can only change the video, and then the audio automatically comes at PID audio +1. And that's an issue because I cannot reproduce that easily on the HB9 TV network. So I've spent this week to check the new programming of the relays, so I can use the PID, let's say the standard PID from ports down and or Pluto. So I have a mock-up of the main relay on my table, and I've been testing it with the ports down 4 and I'm very impressed because right now I cannot change symbol rate below 4 meg easily. So pulse down is working fine at 4 meg, no problem. Is H264 or with MPEG-2, and I've also tested with the DATV Express, and that runs also very nicely. So tomorrow I'm going to up the mountains to 1,700 meters, hoping that snow coming this night, to reprogram the first relay and to test first that before changing the to other one. So that's things I have to do because after the mountain is closed for the winter time and the road is be more open. So that's what I'm doing right now. And I'm very pleased with Portstone 4. It's really, really very, very nice and works beautifully with the Logitech C9020. It's really, really nice, yep. And so when I've done that, I will go back to the amplifier and test the new polarization circuit with the thermal compensation. Okay, that's it for me for that week and a few days of last one. And of course, I'm very interested also by this future project on the way for this new tuner. I think you should call it Toot Toot because you have two tuner. Okay, so for the guy who are still on, my best 73, and I wish you all a nice week. And see you next week. And I will also have a look Saturday or Sunday on this Indian net. Okay. Good evening to all. Ici HB9 DUG. Just to check French to see if pass also very nicely on the
Okay, Michel, really good to see. Yeah, and pleased to hear that Portsdown 4 is performing well for you. That's impressive. I must admit, I don't do much testing at the high symbol rates because we don't tend to use them very much in the TV I do, which is mainly weak signal stuff or Q100. Colin and the guys near repeaters tend to use the higher symbol rates, but it's really interesting to hear that's working, and okay on the Amplion PAs. I wish you luck with that over the coming week and hope weather is good for you tomorrow. Okay, I'm going to call it a day now, but really good to see you, and look forward to seeing you next week. G8GKQ.
Okay, Dave. Thank you for your comments, and see you next week. Yep. Yeah, the issue with our relay is that it was designed to be compatible with all boards, which were unable to run at low symbol rate. And the next step, maybe next year, is to change some of the TCXO on the SR system boards, so we could run it at 2 megs, which will be good enough. Okay, good night.